DJ Podcast Weekly, elevating your DJ game. Powered by livecast.fm.
Hey there, welcome to the very first episode of DJ Podcast Weekly, the show committed to elevating your DJ game. I'm Edwin Frendozo, your host and founder of livecast.fm, and I'm pumped you're here. Today, we've got a jam-packed lineup for you. First off, we're going to help you extend your reach, unveil the latest industry updates, and spotlight a podcast that's turning heads, 45-Day Podcast. So let's drop the beat and get this show on the road, as I'm all about taking your game to the next level. Here we go. This week's DJ podcasting tip of the week is extending your reach in a growing podcast market. Podcasting has not only hit the mainstream, it is booming. If you're already sharing your mixes via live stream on Twitch or platforms like Mixcloud, you're just a step away from reaching an even wider audience through podcasting. And we're talking about major platforms. Think Apple, Google, Spotify. Being part of these networks let you amplify your reach, giving your fans and new listeners multiple ways to connect with you, no matter what device they're on. If you're still going it alone, now's the time to plug into these big name networks and really extend your reach. Podcasting newsflash. Hot off the press, a new report from Sounds Profitable and Signal Hill Insights reveals that word of mouth is the go-to for podcast discovery. A whopping 55% of listeners find new shows through personal recommendations. But it's not just your friends and family. 25% also discover new content from other podcast hosts. How about social media advertising? Well, the report says it's more effective to leverage well-known influencers than your own channel. And hey, if you're a DJ podcaster, this is golden. YouTube and Spotify are also vital platforms for discovery with features that keep listeners hooked. And one more nugget for you. Consistency is key. Most listeners prefer podcasts that stick to a podcast schedule. So DJs, if you're in the podcast game, now's the time to get consistent and get social. For this week's featured DJ podcast of the week, I'm vibing with something special. It's the 45-Day Podcast. And if you're a fan of 7-inch vinyl, this is your sanctuary. This is hosted on livecast.fm. This podcast isn't just a show, it's a multifaceted experience. First off, there's 7 by 7-inch vinyl. In this segment, you get 7 vinyl mixes that transport you straight into the live streams where the records are spun. It's an instant hit of nostalgia mixed with fresh beats. Then we have 7 questions where the host, Criztoz, dives deep with other DJs, asking them the same set of 7 questions. It's like Pro-Ask questionnaire for DJs. And the answers, they're always enlightening. And let's not forget the segments talking about vinyl events and communities. If you're looking to connect or find a vinyl-related event near you, this is your go-to source. So if you're into vinyl, DJs, or just good storytelling and music, the 45-Day Podcast has you covered. Check it out on livecast.fm. It's more than a show, it's a community. Podcasting pro tip number 2 of the day, knowing your audience. This isn't just useful advice. It's exactly what makes podcasts like 45-Day Podcast by DJ Criztoz so engaging. He knows his listeners are vinyl enthusiasts who appreciate the intricacies of 7-inch records. He tailors the content to offer not just music, but also interviews, vinyl events, and community updates, appealing to a broad spectrum of vinyl lovers. As a DJ, you should also be zeroing in on what your audience wants. Is it the latest EDM hits, rare jazz records, maybe ambient sounds? Use listener surveys and social media engagement to fine-tune your offering. Just like Criztoz, as you get to know your audience better, you can create a podcast experience that resonates deeply with them. Keep your ears open to their feedback, and your show could become the next big hit. Maximize your reach, folks. It's not just about where you host your podcast, but how you connect with fans. Just like we talked about knowing your audience, you also got to make sure you're accessible. Being on a network like Livecast.fm means your fans can listen in from any device. Your reach? Sky's the limit. Max your DJ reach with the right platform. For more tips, tune into DJ Podcast Weekly. Swipe up to follow. That's a wrap on the very first, the inaugural episode of DJ Podcast Weekly, brought to you by Livecast.fm, your go-to platform for DJ podcast hosting. We covered some ground today, talked about extending your reach, got the 411 on the latest podcasting trends, and vibed with 45-Day Podcast by Criztoz. For all the resources we talked about, make sure to head over to the episode page or simply click the show notes directly in the app you're listening to. And hey, if you found value in today's show, hit that subscribe button, give us a rating, and share it to a DJ who'd appreciate this knowledge. Your support is important. It keeps the turntable spinning and the content flowing. I'm Edwin Frondozo, and until next week, keep elevating your game.
Thanks for tuning into DJ Podcast Weekly. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share with a DJ who benefit from these tips. Brought to you by Livecast.fm. Keep the vibe alive until next time.